Guys, it's Sunday. It is Sunday. It's our day to be together, to be creative, to experiment and explore, and I'm super stoked because I have no clue if today's DIY is gonna work or not, but that's gonna be the fun of it. For those of you that are new, if this is your first video, this is the DIY Designer. My name is Orly. I'm obsessed with all things DIY fashion and home decor, and so I hope that some of the tips and the tricks and the hacks and the tutorials that I do, you can then apply to your own style and make things feel very you. Today is really fun because I'm gonna experiment. I really don't know if this is gonna work, but I was too excited and I just wanted to get going and try. I was shopping in downtown LA and I stopped at Benjamin's place and I saw these giant rolls of iron-on rhinestone panels. A big, huge roll of iron-on rhinestones. And I was like, holy cow, could this maybe, just maybe, be a really great hack for creating an all-over rhinestone look, like something really major and epic without all of the time to individually add the rhinestones? Is it gonna work? I don't know. Is it gonna feel super stiff? Potentially. Is it gonna look like an iron-on panel? Maybe, but maybe not. We are gonna use my new toy today. I'm very excited. I just got this heat press. It's from Viver. They have a bunch of different extensions that I'm not gonna need today, but they've got one for a hat, one for mugs, one for plates if you're doing sublimation, all that stuff. But I just need the regular, I don't know what it's called, flatbed? That's what I'm gonna call it. It gets wicked hot. So that's really gonna help fuse the rhinestones, the iron-on in that really, really high heat will make it machine washable and all that. The other thing is I think that the pressure when you lock it is gonna further smush it really into those fibers and hopefully prevent it from feeling like some stiff iron-on panel attached to our clothes. So these are the pieces I got to play around with. I got this, it's just a black men's large t-shirt. I don't know, something could be cool here. I don't exactly have a plan yet. I saw this sweater and I thought, well, this could be a very easy, manageable way if I just put the rhinestones in the black stripes. And then I also got this jean jacket. I don't know if I'm gonna do this one yet. I might sort of wait and see what I have left over because obviously I could add them into all the seams or I could do full panels, lots of options. So I'm gonna kind of see what I have left over. Okay, we're gonna get started. We're just gonna go for it and hope that it is awesome. All right, so I bought both of these panels. One is this AB, it's called AB, it's iridescent, and the other one is just a regular clear. I thought I would use the clear on this sweater to kind of create this look, but I thought instead of doing the two big stripes, I would just work with the stripes that the sweater already had. Now, there was an issue because the side seams are not lined up, and I wasn't really sure how exactly I was gonna deal with that when it came to the side seams, but I figured whatever, I'll get started, I'll figure it out, and we'll just learn as we go. So the first thing you need to do is cut the pieces to size. So I decided that I only wanted that piece 3 rhinestones wide because I want to have a little bit of a black border. This material is super easy to cut. You can just glide your scissors. It is super satisfying. Okay, here we go. You're just gonna turn on the heat press, and I already set it to 385, but you can increase or decrease the temperature. You can set a timer for how long you want it to go, and you can also adjust the tension of the lever. So you can raise or lower that plate so that when you clamp it down, it will create more or less tension based off what you want, or pressure rather. I took my piece and I laid it down. Now, right around now is when I realized I really want it to be perfectly centered with an even line of black. And so at first I was like, you know what, I'll do the tiniest bit of fabric glue, just enough that I can put it in line, make sure that it's perfectly centered on both so that when I clamp down, it will stay where I want. I end up coming up with a better way, but at first I was like, great, fabric glue should do the trick, and I used just a tiny bit. I also read online that using parchment paper was a good idea to protect the fabric. I don't know who suggested that and why, because when you heat up parchment paper, it sticks. So now I was like, what? So bizarre. Okay, so next it was time to cut all the other pieces so that I could try to tackle larger sections at a time. Now that I knew the heat press and the rhinestones worked on this particular sweater, I wanted to do this whole section all at once. So I lined up each piece, again, making sure that I had just the smallest amount of black border to keep it looking good, did tiny dots of glue so that I could be very meticulous about how centered it was. And I just used a thin scrap fabric at first. I ended up going with a lightweight towel down the road, but this was where I started. Clamp it down for about 30 to 45 seconds, and that is plenty of heat and plenty of pressure to really fuse this in. I was really excited about how this was looking. Everything was perfectly centered, it was really fused, it was soft, and then I hit a wall. right here where I got to the side seam, not only did I not know what to do with that side seam, but also the stripes get smaller on the front side. So what was cut to the appropriate side on the back no longer was the appropriate side on the front, and I lost my black border. Oh, you guys. All right, I just left to run to the thrift store. I'm gonna see if I can find a sweatshirt. The fact that the stripes on the sweater are not perfectly even, it just makes the whole thing look sloppy, I think. It just doesn't look professional, it doesn't look legit, it looks kind of janky. So I'm gonna see if maybe a sweatshirt will provide a smoother surface. Let's see. This is not what I needed, but it's really cool. I'm gonna do this pink sweatshirt, and I found some goodies for future DIYs. Okay, it's like the perfect faded neon-y pink sweatshirt. I'm gonna use the iridescent. I cannot decide what to do here. Really struggling. I'm leaning towards doing thin stripes all the way down. All right, I'm gonna start playing around. Now, the beauty of DIY is that you can do absolutely anything you want. The difficulty with DIY is you can do absolutely anything you want, and it can be really hard to make a decision because everything is possible. I played around with different ideas. I really liked this sort of striped with the angles, the sort of vertical ones going on different angles, like a caged effect. I even grabbed this flannel, which I dyed a long time ago, and thought like, ooh, I could add in some vertical or some horizontal, so some mixed. Now, here's the one thing I've learned after doing all this. The most time-consuming part is laying out your design in order to transfer to the heat press. Once it's time for the heat press, it takes 30 seconds and it's good to go. But laying out your design and allowing yourself to transfer it to the heat press without moving it is hard. So, two options. One is chalk it out. Draw the whole thing with chalk, then lay it on your heat press, put your rhinestones right on your chalk, and you're good to go. The other option, which I like, is this. Create your design when it's laying fully flat and you have access to the full sweatshirt. Lightly iron it down, just enough that it's going to hold it in place. It is absolutely not enough to fuse it in place, but enough to hold it so you can then lift it and transfer it to the heat press. Now, 40 seconds on the heat press, boom. It's done. It's fused, it's good to go, and it's not going anywhere. So once you do that center front, now you can kind of like slide to the right and to the left and finish off the little corners. Now it's time to do the center line. This is gonna be the vertical center line that's gonna start to create our caged effect. I'm just cutting them to size so that they fit in between all of my horizontal lines. Now, when it comes to this next one, this is the one that's gonna start a little wider on the shoulder and taper into the waist, creating a really flattering effect. This one you can do wherever and however you want. This is the first one, so you can be free with it. Once this side is done, you have to match the other side if you want to create this kind of a caged effect. So what I did is I counted rhinestones from the center in order to know exactly where to put the beginning and end of each one, because again, it creates that angle. So by counting it, it allowed me to match with the right, which again, I could have done anywhere I wanted, but the one on the left needs to match that. All I'm gonna do is give it one final press for the whole thing, and I am good to go. I can't wait for you guys to see this one. I am obsessed. Now, I'm gonna do kind of a Cliff Notes version of this because you get the idea. I wanted to create a really cool, bold striped black t-shirt. I actually thought this would be something really cool for a guy because it's big and oversized and the weight of it feels sick. So I did the same thing. These stripes are 3 rhinestones wide. I just cut them, I laid them out, I lightly ironed them so that the design was in place, and then I transferred to the heat press. Measured so that everything was even, and then just pressed it. Now, there's one change I made that I wish I had known. I decided to extend these pieces, which originally end at the sleeve. I extended them all the way onto the sleeve because after I tried it on, it looked kind of weird that the sleeves weren't done. Had I known, it would have saved me a lot of time because it just would have extended and I wouldn't have had to try to line up the side seams. But whatever, you know, you don't know sometimes till you know. So I ended up adding the stripes to go all the way across. So each piece that goes across the back extends to the arm, and you'll see it at the end. It creates a really cool weight. Same thing here. I'm just gonna show you a bunch of ideas. I'm not gonna go super in depth here. I thought it would be really cool to add this full rhinestone mesh down the jeans. The technique absolutely works. I was able to cut and create custom shapes, even cut around the holes in the jean and the rugged hem on the bottom. The only reason I don't love these is because I actually find the fit of the jeans to be really unflattering, which is why they were sitting in my craft closet
waiting for some sort of DIY. But I'll still model them at the end so you can see. Now with leftover scraps, you guys can totally write words. I just basically, these are like 4x4, and I just cut out block letters with the leftover material that I had. I ended up putting it on this yellow one, and I think it looks really cool. I'll probably crop it. Again, here's that thing I talked about. You can do a chalk line. So I just created a center line and a horizontal line. Then if I wanted, I could just go in and measure, making sure that everything is centered and even. Now this is the last one, and this is actually the first one I did. I was just testing out the heat press to see if it even worked, and I got this rainbow applique from Benjamin, and I got a little sweatshirt that I thrifted for Blake, and I decided to wrap it around the side of the body because it's such a big rainbow. So I was like, ooh, that'll be cool. Half a rainbow in the front, half a rainbow in the back. Now again, this is before I did any research, before I did anything, and I did not put a protective cloth in between. It wasn't a huge deal. It slightly discolored a little area of the underarm, but nothing that you can even see. But it came out so cute on her. Look at her. She was like on cloud 9. It sparkles like magic in the sun. And now I'll show you mine. Inside my